quite a stash.
This is what a secret room is about. Now, where were we? Let's start with the conclusion before we get into all the details. You asked me to come to Lahai-Roi to watch for any Fractsidus activity. Warren was the first Fractsidus mole you uncovered, and he certainly won't be the last. Think of the Space Trek Collective as a web of competing powers. It's as much a haven for independence as a playground for agendas. An isolated polar region, rich with exoswarm and the potential for technological breakthrough. Lahai-Roi is a gold mine, even for the Fractsidus.
You're saying the fall of Helios wasn't the real goal?
It was one of several. After your journey in Huanglong and Renacida, I'm sure you've come to realize their true aim.
The Thenodian. Aleph 1.
Correct. Given the Thenodian's unique nature, it's sure to catch their attention. Moreover, Aleph 1 is closely linked to the Strider Gate, which may be our ticket to outer space.
Spying on the Fractsidus is risky. Why would I have chosen you for this task?
Well, that is a bit of a long story. You've always preferred to see things for yourself. Please, follow me to that table. The golden serum, developed by the Naviale group. I prefer its other name, Ichor. My father started it as a medication for rare diseases. But as research progressed, it came to represent something far more ambitious. The drug of evolution.
Evolution? Sounds like something the Fractsidus would like.
Well, on paper it worked. I became its resonator, so it would be unfair to say it was entirely useless. But I was a rare case who survived. All it cost me was excruciating pain and my colored vision. Most test subjects like me didn't make it. It wasn't until I met you that I realized there was more to the story. The rest is in my study, shall we? My brother Ryan drew this picture. We're not related by blood. Father took us both in after his own children passed away from a rare illness long ago. Ryan never could handle pain, but he was easy to cheer up. Whenever the grown-ups would give me candy, I'd save it all for him.
So, that's why he always has candy with him.
For a while, I tried to be the perfect son Father wanted. It never worked, so eventually I stopped trying. It only got worse from there. What Father tried to do to Ryan was unforgivable. And then came that accident. I thought what my father did was a rather mundane story. A cliché, Someone trying to atone for past guilt, only to cause greater harm. Until your hints made me suspect it was someone's staged finale. So I had my father's grave exhumed. It was empty. The entire Lola logistics carrier was already blown to smithereens by the time I recovered this page. I managed a quick glimpse before the fire consumed most of the page. It is a report from an overseer.
A Fractsidus overseer's report on its way to the new Federation.
Yes. Tucked away in a Lola logistics delivery box. The recipient is Eris in the new Federation.
Those 3 items you just showed me. Did the Fractsidus get into Noviali's work after learning about the Icar's potential for evolution?
They didn't just get into our work. They went a step further. Replacement. Have you ever met the Fractsidus' Grand Architect?
The thousand-faced survivor. We met near the Styx Lake deep within the Dark Tide. Wait. Does this mean your father was...
Yes. My father was just another face the Grand Architect borrowed. Though looking back now, I can't recall the moment the real him was taken. I think the Grand Architect sees life and death as a game. I wouldn't be surprised if Father was even smiling in his coffin as we buried him in that downpour. So, that's your answer. Why did you choose me? Because I have a very personal reason to go after the Fractsidus. Hatred.
Hatred. Even now.
Now, it has become something of a habit. Continue this train of investigation and you'll see for yourself what they are. But before you do, there's something I should share. My friends in the Black Shores told me you've already had a few run-ins with certain overseers. Is that right?
3. Cristoforo, Frolova, and Scar. Plus the Grand Architect you mentioned.
Ah, those names do ring a bell. Frolova is codenamed Hecate. Cristoforo? Arachnos. Intriguing, isn't it? The flair they have for their own branding. But it's a telling detail. A codename can reveal its owner's style, personal tastes, and even ambitions. Think about it. A powerful resonator who causes chaos at random leaves no trail to follow. But give them a preference, a pattern. You can start to build a profile from the pieces. I've been compiling reports on the Overseers for years. Allow me to share what I've learned so far. I've reactivated your access. You'll find the door controls right over there. The Fractsidus is loosely organized. Most of its members have only undergone basic, artificially induced body modification. They're not terribly difficult to neutralize. But if you encounter artificers with more creative modifications, you're likely looking at the handiwork of Hydra. Hydra is their leading mind on human evolution, and body modifications. Whoever they are, they often work in tandem with Siren. In other words, if you spot one, be on guard in case the other is lurking close by. Zashiki Warashi won't require much of your attention. This overseer primarily operates in Ashinohara, a region that's been largely destroyed by the Lament.
Ashinohara. I've heard of it somewhere before.
The girl we had in the infirmary for a while. Chisa, I remember. The city that trapped her, Onami, is part of Ashinohara. Now, on to two key pieces of the puzzle. I did say the Fractsidus was a loose organization, but even the most scattered cells still need funding to function. Remember that report from earlier? It's only a matter of time before you go to the new Federation, and based on the intel I've gathered, that's their most critical base of operations, and where you'll find Eris.
How critical? Do they operate in the open?
Not exactly, but in a place where money talks, they must have members in the highest echelons of government and business. Key members. Their foothold in the new Federation has given them immense leverage. With that endless stream of wealth, the Fractsidus operates with impunity across the planet. Speaking of which, Star Torch Academy is also heavily funded by the new Federation. To be blunt, they're the Space Trek Collective's single largest donor.
Eris, huh? Duly noted. I'm assuming the other key piece is the Grand Architect?
The Fractsidus Grand Architect. Their true name is unknown. They only appear through borrowed identities. Real people, legendary beings, and even the phantoms of the dead from others' memories. I did brush shoulders with them once. It was a shame. I had no idea at the time, and missed my shot. This pen was the only thing I brought back from that great fire. I have yet to decipher the lettering, but it shows one thing for sure. The Grand Architect has been around for a very, very long time. It's a pity you called me to Lahai-Roi. Otherwise, I would have continued following that trail. But you always have a good reason, right?
You uncovered all this by yourself.
More or less. I did have some help along the way.
To get your hands on one of the Grand Architect's personal items, you did more than just follow a trail. You infiltrated them.
Playing along with them isn't that difficult once you get the hang of it. Like I said, they are a loose organization.
Knowing the Fractsidus, stealing all that intel on the Overseers is risky, no matter how loose they are. Each infiltration will only be more dangerous than the last. Luuk, how can a doctor who doesn't value his own life save anyone else's?
You know, this is the second time you've said those words to me. They got away again. If I hadn't been so cautious, I could have taken care of them this time. I should send today's findings to him. It's been 2 years. Suppose I'm due for a report. Good. You got the intel. Would have been a shame if I got myself killed for nothing. You want me to go to Lahai-Roi? Why?
There's evidence of their activity in Lahai-Roi. I need you to keep an eye on things. And frankly, you need a break.
Now is not the right time.
already drawn enough attention. Do we really have to wait for you to get killed to decide it's the right time? How can a doctor save anyone else's life if he doesn't value his own? Keep pushing like this, and you'll be no different from them.
Not pulling any punches, are you?
Trust me, that's only the warm-up. Lahai-Roi is a nice place, Luuk. Bright, passionate students. Beautiful snow. Perfect for slowing things down. Listen to me on this. Come.
Very well. As you wish. So I've led a leisurely life in the Lahai-Roi ever since. No need to worry. I know my limits. Let's set aside the Fractsidus for now. We should discuss the Exostrider plan. But first, tell me what happened to you and Imeth in the Frostlands. I see. Imeth, she. No wonder you're in such a state.
I understand her reasons. She was fighting for her dream, for Lahai-Roi, in the only way she knew how. And I respect that, the fate she chose for herself. But I won't accept it. There's more I haven't tried. I'm not done fighting for her.
Of course. I wouldn't expect you to give up so easily. Now, about the Exostrider. It started with the Space Trek Collective finding a giant solid-skin root network in Bjartar Woods. They identified it as the lid sealing the Strider Gate, so to speak. It keeps the Threnodians' fractured forms sealed on both sides of the Strider Gate. Break it, and these forms will reunite. That wouldn't just spell Lahai-Roi's doomsday, but the entire world. But the Collective still yearned to open that gateway, to explore the unknown. So, they created the Synchronists. The idea was to use augmented resonance to amplify the Exostrider's power, hoping that would keep the Threnodians suppressed. But lately, the Threnodians' attacks on the seal have been increasing. I'm afraid the Fractsidus is also getting ready to make a move. With the reactor core returned, all you need now is a little patience. Wait for the Exostrider to awaken. Then we can focus on how to use it to find Imeth. You were a synchronist in the Academy once before. I'll speak with Lucilla about getting you piloting access.
Then I'll wait for your news, Luuk.
Certainly, but our immediate priority should be the Fractsidus. I have a feeling they're planning to sabotage our plans for the Exostrider.